The Mandalorian Chapter 5, The Gunslinger, brings us back to the sands of Tatooine and introduces us to deadly assassin Fennec Shand, played by the original Mulan herself, Ming-Na Wen. Going back to Tatooine means there are bound to be a few familiar Star Wars references. Here are all of the best Easter eggs from Episode 5 that you may have missed.
You see how that works? Yeah? Bright eyes? Or a team?
After a shootout with bounty hunter Riot Mar, Mando brings his damaged ship to a familiar planet to Star Wars fans, Tatooine. He communicates with Mos Eisley Tower and is directed to Docking Bay 35 in Mos Eisley Spaceport. As you remember from A New Hope, we first see the Millennium Falcon at the same spaceport parked in Docking Bay 94.
What a piece of junk!
Remember these droids? When Mando, Baby Yoda, and the Razor Crest land in Mos Eisley, we see a few dumb series pit droids. The first time we saw these droids was in Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, at Mos Espa, where they worked at Watto's shop and on pod racers. The woman that runs this spaceport dock on Mos Eisley is Peli Motto, but the actress that plays her is none other than Amy Sedaris. This comedic actress is best known for her role as Jerry Blank on Comedy Central's Strangers with Candy. Additionally, she's appeared on Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and BoJack Horseman. Currently, she stars in the true TV comedy At Home with Amy Sedaris. It's already established in continuity that after the Battle of Endor, the Empire had fallen, and we've seen this shot in many trailers for the show. However, it's important to note that even though Tatooine is on the Outer Rim, far from the Empire's stranglehold, it still had a massive Empire presence. If you watch A New Hope, there are stormtroopers everywhere, and considering how beaten up these helmets look, there was obviously an uprising in Mos Eisley. While Mando is off doing his bounty hunter thing, Peli and the dumb droids are playing a game of Sabacc. This widely popular game is first mentioned in Empire Strikes Back, but it also appeared in Rebels, The Force Awakens, and was heavily featured in Solo.
If you'd only had this little green Psylop, you would have beaten this.
Briefly seen before Mando enters the cantina, there is a WED-15 droid, also known as a Treadwell, hanging out and talking to a human. It first appeared in a deleted scene for A New Hope and later made an appearance in Attack of the Clones. When Mando walks into the cantina, there's something written above the door, and the first symbol looks close to a B in Arabesh. However, the second two letters didn't match anything in the alphabet. This isn't Huttese either. It probably says bar or pub as long as the characters directly match the English language, because Arabesh does, so why wouldn't others? And here we are at Mos Eisley Cantina. Its official name is Chalmun's Spaceport Cantina, but it's the most famous and at times infamous watering hole in the Star Wars universe. As far as live-action appearances go, we've only seen it in A New Hope. However, this pub did also appear on the animated series The Clone Wars a few times as well. In Bay 35, we briefly see and hear one of my favorite droids, a GNK Power Droid, better known as a Gonk Droid, which first appeared in A New Hope. We've seen these gigantic beasts in Star Wars many times before. Banthas are the preferred mode of transportation for the Tusken Raiders. The native raiders ride these Banthas in single-file lines in order to hide their numbers. Before this episode of The Mandalorian, Tusken Raiders were generally seen as ruthless nomads, taking shots at pod racers, killing Darth Vader's mother, and generally causing havoc to people on Tatooine who ventured away from spaceports. Here, however, they're shown in a much kinder light. As Mando explains, Tuskens view everyone else as outsiders, as they and Jawas are the only native species to the planet. As a person of tradition and ritual, Mando respects the Tuskens by asking for passage, instead of just barging through. Additionally, while Tuskens speak, well, Tusken, we also learn that they can communicate through sign language. They're not as barbaric and savage as originally portrayed. Before Mando leaves Toro to grab a dewback, he tells the new bounty hunter that she's no good to us dead. In Empire Strikes Back, Boba Fett has a whopping 4 lines, and one of them is,
"He's no good to me dead."
He says this to Darth Vader on Bespin after they capture Han Solo. Infamous assassin Fennec Shand, played by Ming-Na Wen, may be introduced for the first and maybe last time in this episode of The Mandalorian, but it's possible that another member of her family has already appeared in another Star Wars movie. In The Force Awakens, we briefly meet Kanji Club, a criminal organization that Han Solo was in debt to. One of the members of this group was Tusken Shand. Considering Fennec once worked for the Hutt cartel and Kanji Club's members are comprised of former Hutt slaves, it's a safe bet to say that these two are related. Tusken could be Fennec's son, considering there's a 25-year difference between this episode of The Mandalorian and The Force Awakens. Also, I have a feeling we haven't seen the last of Fennec on this show. What did you think of Chapter 5? Did you catch any other Easter eggs we might have missed? Let us know in the comments below. Subscribe for more Star Wars videos, and we'll see you next time.